Welcome back to OVC Media Days, live from Jacksonville, Alabama. Head coach Ray Harper of Jacksonville State. Coach, welcome to a unique media day.
It's a unique media day, but it's a good media day. Didn't have as far to travel today. Still get to see you, so it's good.
How was that commute in from the house today? Was that long? Traffic or what?
No traffic. Was able to just Zoom right here this morning, and we get finished, and we can have practice this afternoon. So all's good.
I'm at the world headquarters of the OVC, so I had a little traffic to
You have a little
contend with.
traffic in Nashville.
Yeah, I believe I did. South of there. Coach, this season for you, you're no stranger to basketball. It's been your life. Kind of take us through your journey to get to the OVC, because it's been a lot of different stops along the way. And one of the bad things, if you will, about us not being in Evansville is you're not going to kind of get able close to home where you started in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's always good to go to Evansville. I had an opportunity to stop in and see my family and all of that. But, again, like you said, grew up in Kentucky and attended University of Texas for a couple of years until Coach Lemons got fired, and then elected to go back home and finish up at Kentucky Wesleyan. And then from there, spent a year at VCU as a graduate assistant, and back home to Kentucky Wesleyan, where I was there for, I don't even know how many years, 19, 20, for a long time as an assistant and head coach, and really thought that's where I would end my career. I loved it there, and there were some changes within the administration, just decided that we needed to change, and it was a great change. Ended up in Oklahoma City, where old Abe Lemons, the court was named after Abe, who I played for, and got to spend a lot of time with his wife, Betty. So it was good. And then back home to Western Kentucky, and eventually to Jacksonville State, where I am today. So, and this, ironically, is the team that ended my college career my senior year in the Final Four. So it's kind of bittersweet sometimes when I think about that.
A lot of red in your life in the last few years between Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. Last season, a rebuilding season for you, no doubt. And what can we expect from you here in this upcoming campaign? And we'll talk a little bit more about kind of how we got here.
Your guess is as good as mine with this group, because I wish we could play the normal scrimmages and exhibitions where I could have a better gauge on who we are. We're talented and we're deep. I will say that. But how is that going to translate into wins and losses? I'm not sure. But, it's a good group. It's a talented group, and we'll see how they progress throughout the season.
Kane Henry's getting a lot of attention. He's the big guy, and your team has been very solid in rebounding, high numbers throughout the last couple of seasons. With that size and that talent that you mentioned, the depth that you have on the team as well, is that kind of what you're pointing to toward more of the inside game this season?
Well, the thing that killed us last year was our inability to take care of the basketball. And I think we solved that problem with some point guards and Jalen Finch and Damari King. And J.J. Platt has actually played really well. Samaj Henderson. So I think that's the biggest issue was our inability to take care of the basketball. Should we be a good rebounding team? We should be an excellent rebounding team. We've got size. We're athletic. We can score the ball in a lot of different ways, but we have to be a good defensive team. The thing that got us in trouble last year is we didn't protect the rim. I don't think that will be the issue this year.
Mr. Henry's got some big size there coming from across the pond, as they like to call it. You've been around the block a time or two. That doesn't mean you're old like me. It just means you've seen a lot of basketball. And you've been in this league long enough, right? Kind of size up where the OVC in terms of talent comparison contrasts to some leagues that you've been in the past.
I think this year will be the best it's been. I really do. I know we had 2 teams in the tournament a couple years ago, and I think that could be the case again this year. I think if we would have been able to play our full non-conference schedule, I don't think there'd be any question that we would have multiple teams. And I hope they look into our conference, how good we are, and guys can win a lot of non-conference games, because it's a deep league. There's a lot of talent. And I think we can play with any of the mid-plus leagues in the country. So it's going to be a fun year, I think, for the fans, maybe not so much for the coaches, but it should be a fun year this year.
So that leads me to a question you just kind of touched on. Of all seasons, should we expand the tournament this year? What's your thought on that?
Look, I'm the wrong guy to ask that. I think it's should be everyone every year, and I just think it's because we look at the experience for these young men, and if you get down to those last week or 2 weeks and you have no chance to play in the conference tournament, we haven't been in that situation, but it can be difficult to get those guys to stay motivated and do what they need to do. And if they can get to a conference tournament, it's at least the hope and the dream still there to play in an NCAA tournament. And I think that's what we want these kids to always have, is a hope and ability to do what they want to do.
All right. So the classic media question for Jacksonville State to be successful this season, what must happen?
We've got to be a team that plays together, and we've got to be a great defensive team. I think we will score the basketball. We've got a lot of different options. We've got a lot of different pieces. We're deep. I think we've got to stay healthy. But if we can stay healthy and we can defend the basketball, we'll have a chance to be a good basketball team.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. And if you, like they do in Congress, if you'll yield back the last hour of your time to Josh, will be cool then, right?
I will do that. It's always a pleasure to see you.